Okay. My name's Sterling Schwab. I live here in Flemington. I was in Afghanistan recently from August 2015 until August 2016. And while I was there, I received a care package from Operation Shoebox. And I remember very clearly when it arrived. I was on the watch floor in Kabul, and the mailroom people came in, and they had these boxes. And I was with a whole bunch of other people from all over the world, with a lot of people from NATO countries, even a couple people from Australia, New Zealand, had some Canadians there. And here come these boxes, and there weren't that many Americans on the watch floor at that point. It was an off hour. It was about 10 o'clock at night. And I went up and they gave me a box, and I went back to my desk, sat down, and sitting next to me was a Portuguese artillery officer on my left, and on my right-hand side was a Norwegian Air Force officer. And they asked me, what is it? I said, well, it's a care package from the United States. And I said, it's this organization called Operation Shoebox. And they asked me, what is it? So we got in this big discussion about care packages, because one thing we did notice in Afghanistan, and we used to talk about this amongst ourselves, the Americans did, all the care packages we used to get from different organizations like Operation Shoebox, from our families, companies we worked for, people we knew, relatives, and a lot of our NATO partners didn't get any of this stuff. And we start talking to them about it. They were impressed. They always talked about how they really always heard how giving Americans were, and they said this just for them proved it. And it wasn't. I didn't get one once. I got, I think, 3 times. I got care packages from Operation Shoebox and from other organizations. And for our European NATO partners, that was one thing they talked about frequently. My Portuguese artillery officer was, he talked about it frequently. He said, he didn't even know if the civilians he knew in Portugal cared that he was in Afghanistan. I tried to assure him that I'm sure they did, but for him, the fact that we got packages from strangers who we didn't even know, he said that meant a lot. And one time I gave him my box, and I said, hey, go through it, take out whatever you want. And he took out a few things. I think he took out some cookies and some gum that I had gotten, and a few other things. But that was just generally, we tried to share everything we received from the United States with our partners and our allies that were with us. But it always made it a little bit uncomfortable, because here we are getting a nice care package, and they're just sort of sitting there watching us. So it was interesting, it was fun. But receiving those care packages, it really does boost your spirits. It kind of breaks up the monotony of what you're doing for that few minutes. It gets conversation, talking about something entirely different than what you're really there to do. And it was always nice. And as I said, everybody noticed it. It was funny because you would get a care package. And here's the one thing I tell this story frequently. I would have never known this, but Oreo cookies are, you talk about an international language, that is a word in the international language, Oreo cookies. I received some Oreo cookies, and I had probably 6 rows below me were a bunch of Turkish officers. These guys barely spoke English. I never spoke to them. As soon as people heard I had Oreo cookies, I had these Turkish officers I didn't even know coming up, introducing themselves to me and saying, hey, do you have some Oreo cookies? We heard you do. I said, yeah, actually, I just got some. So this is how I met people. A care package from Operation Shoebox that happened to have some Oreo cookies meant I was meeting some Turkish officers I probably would have never spoken to, but because of a cookie, I got to meet these guys, and conversation started. And you talk about how you break the water and talk to people. An Oreo cookie is one way you do it. Thank you, Operation Shoebox. And